How we doing out there today, 49ers faithful? Drew Kerr, 49ers Sports Talk. Today's video, I wanted to talk about the Madden Curse. Is it real? Is it myth? And kind of go through some of the past covers and look at the coinciding players to each one of those covers and talk about that to see if they actually were cursed or if they weren't cursed, and then kind of look at maybe a percentage and just kind of see how everything shook out and how it has been shaking out in recent years. So I pulled up this article that Eric Benjamin from CBS, he works for the NFL for CBS. He went together and put a comprehensive list of every single Madden cover and if that player was cursed or not cursed. I may disagree with some of these, but I'm going to go ahead and bring this up. And, the very first year that Madden featured a player was Eddie George in 2001. He does say here that he was cursed. He fumbled the ball a lot. And, he had a season-ending playoff game where he, only averaged 3.4 yards per carry for the rest of his career. The verdict is that Eddie George was cursed after he appeared on the Madden cover. Moving on to 2002, featured Dante Culpepper. After throwing 33 touchdowns and going 11-5 as a first-time starter in 2000, Culpepper took a nosedive during his cover season. Injuries cost him 6 games. He fumbled 16 times, threw just 14 touchdowns compared to 13 picks, and went 4-7 in those starts. So the verdict there was he was cursed as well. 2003, moving on to Rams running back Marshall Faulk. The Hall of Famer entered his cover season by having logged 5 straight 1,000-yard seasons and 3 straight 1,300-yard campaigns. But in 2002, Faulk broke down, missing almost half a dozen starts. He never topped 1,000 yards again. So I'm guessing the verdict here is cursed. So there's 3 for 3. 2004 was Michael Vick, and the verdict there is cursed. He fractured his fibula less than a week after the game released. Sidelined him for all but 5 games, and then 4 years later he was in jail, as we all know, for the dogfighting. So they're saying cursed there. He did come back and resurrect his career, so maybe the curse has an expiration date, because Vick did have some success when he got back into the NFL. Moving right along to Ray Lewis. His interception total dropped from 6 to 0 in 2004. But it's nitpicking. He still logged 147 tackles. And he says if we're talking about the following year, there might be a case to be made, as he missed 10 games. But the verdict there is not cursed. So we're 3 for 4 on that. I'm sorry, 4 for 5. And then the Eagles, Donovan McNabb, he peaked in 2004, throwing 31 touchdowns and led the Eagles to the Super Bowl. But 2005 was rock bottom. He scuffled with Terrell Owens, missed almost half of a 6-10 season. He went on to miss 8 games over the next 2 years too. Cursed. Seattle Seahawks running back Shaun Alexander, 2007, cursed. Like Faulk, entered his cover year with 5 straight 1,000-yard seasons. In 2006, his rushing total dropped from 1,880 to 896. 2 years later, he was out of the NFL. A Washington Redskin washout. So cursed there. 2008, Vince Young, Offensive Rookie of the Year in 2006. Cover year, threw just 9 touchdowns compared to 17 interceptions. And he never regained trust in Jeff Fisher. Cursed. 2009 Packers Jets quarterback Brett Favre. EA began by making Favre the cover athlete as a tribute to his Packers career, which had just ended. But then Favre forced his way out into New York. All he did was throw an NFL high 22 picks and hurt his shoulder before moving to Minnesota. So they are saying cursed on that one. 2010, Arizona Cardinals, Fitzgerald, and Steelers, Troy Polamalu. Fitz had one of his standard Pro Bowl seasons with more than 1,000 yards, but Polamalu missed a career-high 11 games in 2009 thanks to an MCL injury, recording a career-low 20 tackles, so they're saying half cursed. So, yeah, I guess you could say that. 2011, Drew Brees Throwing 33 scores and earning another Pro Bowl selection is good stuff, but Brees had what constitutes as an off year. The season that he graced the cover, throwing a career high and franchise record 22 interceptions. His Saints also lost to the 7-9 Seahawks in the playoffs. Verdict: cursed. 2012, we have Peyton Hillis, a Madden cult hero. Hillis grunted his way to 1,000 yards as a surprise lead back in 2010, but during his cover year, he missed half a dozen games with an injury, averaged just 3.6 yards per carry, and ran his way into a journeyman backup career. Gonna say cursed. 2013 Lions Calvin Johnson. If anyone conquered the curse, it was Johnson, who had both a career and historic season the year he was on the cover. Like Barry Sanders before him in Detroit, he retired relatively early a few years later, but 2012 saw him post a whopping 1,964 receiving yards. Verdict: not cursed. 2014 Vikings running back Adrian Peterson. If Johnson shattered the curse, Peterson may have reignited it in 2013. Fresh off his 6th 1,000-yard season and 2 years removed from a historic 2,000-yard campaign, he missed all but one game after being indicted on child abuse charges. Cursed. I would say that's more self-inflicted curse. Anyhow, moving on. Richard Sherman, his interception total dropped. Seahawks failed to repeat as Super Bowl champs. Otherwise, Sherman was still at the top of his game during this cover year. It was only after the season that he had to undergo Tommy John surgery. So they're saying not cursed for Sherman. 2016, Giants Odell Beckham. Case to be made that 2015, Beckham's cover year is when the flamboyant wideout fell into a mercurial trajectory, including a one-game suspension for his fight with Josh Norman, but he still dominated on the field with 1,400 yards, so not cursed there. 2017 Patriots, Rob Gronkowski, 5-time Pro Bowler, was coming off another double-digit touchdown season in 2016, but he missed virtually all of the Patriots' first 4 games with a hamstring injury, then finished with just 6 starts due to a herniated disc and other injury issues. So the verdict there is cursed. Back-to-back Patriots, 2018, Patriots Tom Brady. With a chance to win his 6th Lombardi, Brady was bested by Eagles backup Nick Foles in Super Bowl, I guess that's 42? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, but he still threw for more than 500 yards in that game after winning yet another MVP award. At age 40, he proved immune to the curse. Not cursed there. Antonio Brown, 2019, they're saying cursed. One of the game's most gifted route runners, Brown scored a career-high 15 touchdowns during his cover year, but it proved to be a tumultuous one in the Steelers' locker room, resulting in his trade to the Raiders after the season. He only played another 16 games in the NFL, bouncing between 3 different teams amid a flurry of on- and off-field controversies. Verdict: cursed. Not sure I agree with that one because, 15 touchdowns in a cover year, yeah, you can argue that he was cursed afterwards, but he wasn't cursed that year. Patrick Mahomes, 2020, rightly honored after a historic debut as Kansas City's full-time starter. Mahomes didn't slow down as a result of his video game fame. An injury cost him 2 starts and made his numbers look more good than great in 2020, but he still won his first Super Bowl at 24, so verdict not curse. Mahomes did win the Super Bowl that year. 2021, Ravens, Lamar Jackson. Fresh off an MVP season and electric dual threat, Jackson would experience a downturn in passing efficiency and durability a few years later, but his cover season 2020 was still a star-studded affair, making his 2nd straight 1,000 rushing yard campaign. So they're saying not cursed. 2022, both Brady and Mahomes shared the cover, enjoyed their typical unmatched success after gracing Madden. The former threw an NFL high 5,300 yards and 43 touchdowns at 44 while taking Tampa Bay back to the playoffs, while Mahomes casually tossed 37 touchdowns in a 12-5 season that ended in the AFC title game, so not cursed. And in 2023, it was just a tribute to John Madden, who had died at age 85. Returned to the cover of his famous series as part of a tribute for the 2022 season. No verdict there. 2024, Bills quarterback Josh Allen. Allen was the first Bills player to ever grace the cover While he couldn't end Buffalo's streak of disappointing postseason finishes and maintained a penchant for turnovers, the big-bodied dual threat scored 40-plus total touchdowns for the 4 straight years, serving as the chief reason the Bills' late-season turnaround. He remains the centerpiece of their title hopes. Not cursed. So the final verdict was, according to him, was that 13.5 of the 24 cover athletes, 56% from 2024, have been cursed, but just 3 of the 10 cover athletes, or 30% from the last 10 years, 2014 to 2024, have been cursed. There also haven't been back-to-back curses since 2011 and 2012. So is the Madden Curse alive? Maybe, he says, but it may be losing its power, and it kind of seems that way. So yeah, I think that based on this and based on a couple that I disagree with, it looks like the trend is that the Madden Curse has not really been existing as much in the last 10 years, the last decade. So just kind of going back up, I don't know where it broke, but it kind of seems like it did break at some point. Maybe it broke, here with Richard Sherman, maybe. Somewhere in this area it broke, and I don't think that it's really been all too prominent in recent years. So anyhow, give me your guys' thoughts on this, in the comments. Is the curse real? Is it not real? I had some people talking smack this morning, like, enjoy your Madden Curse. And, really a curse is, I don't believe in curses. It was really weird for a long stretch there from Eddie George to 2014. There was a weird stretch of weird things happening, but that is all water under the bridge. So hopefully CMC stays healthy, and the Niners use him a little more sparingly than they did last season to keep him healthy all year. So anyhow, again, thanks for watching, guys. Leave a comment. Please like and subscribe if you have not subscribed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.